music always gets you going, doesn't it, Kurt?
I was fired up way before the music, but
yeah. Well, it's Friday, and what does that mean? It means it's time for manufacturing e-commerce success, and we are going to have a fun show today because we are with manufacturers celebrating Manufacturing Month. And Kurt, we've got some of our great manufacturing representatives here today talking about U.S. manufacturing, showing us the light, man. So I'm going to turn it over to that guy over there, the other side, Kurt Anderson, to take it away.
Damon, thanks, dude, man. What an absolute honor, privilege, as we're just celebrating Manufacturing Month, the whole month of October. And so there's this, we've covered a lot of ground so far this month. And boy, today is going to be just pure fire, man. We're covering 3 different cities, and we've got old school manufacturers here, 3 totally different industries. And the goal is just kind of just seeing like you take for granted your household goods, things you see on a regular daily basis. And you're just like, man, who makes this stuff? And so we're going to dive into it. So, hey, without further ado, let's just dive right in. So I'm jumping down to the other corner there, Damon, below you, my dear friend, my good buddy, Mike Haragan from Indigenous Pet Treats, coming to us live from Indianapolis and Indiana. Michael, happy Friday. How are you, dude?
Oh, doing great. How are you doing, Kurt?
Dude, if I was any better, I'd be twins. Is that a good line right there? So I don't know. Or you might have to call 911 if I was any better, because it's going to get really juicy here. So, hey, Damon, let's climb up to the wonderful city of Chicago. And I know it's still morning time in Chicago. So, Melinda, good morning, my friend. Happy Friday. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, you are, Damon, a couple of repeat offenders on the program here. So Melinda's been on the show. Now, Melinda, I like it much better when you and I are live together and I'm sitting next to you. But, we're a couple of states away. So Melinda's coming to us live from Pedoc Power Solutions. Man, are they an incredible company. You want to check them out. And then last but not least, our third batter in the lineup today is my dear friend, Joe. Joe, you're coming to us live from Buffalo. And you are with Styco and Styco Covert Antennas. What's going on, dude? Good morning. Happy Friday to you. How are things?
Things are great. Yes, happy Friday to you, Kurt and the team. Things are great in Buffalo. Hopefully you're going to be doing a lot of cheering for our Bills team. I got to throw them out there, right? I think you guys are all Bills fans, right?
Absolutely.
Out there, right?
Couple Bills fans out there.
There's a couple.
And Damon, they're literally like you could almost I couldn't throw a football that far, but they are right down the street from they're in Orchard Park, New York, right down the street from Bills Stadium. So Damon, we need to get you over here to a Bills game. We can park right in Styco's parking lot and we'll just walk over right up.
There you go.
Oh, you guys are doing pretty good this year too. You're 4-2 right now.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
Not bad.
A little choppy, but we're there.
Yeah.
We're there.
A little choppy, lost in London. But anyway, all right, so let's move forward here. So I'm going to go around the horn, and I would love to hear about how each of you are just crushing it with Made in USA manufacturing. Mike, my friend, can you just talk a little bit, Indigenous Pet Treats, how are you making the world a better place? What's going on? What products are you making there?
Well, with Indigenous, it's a dental health bone where we try to put a lot of good things, healthy things that'll help the dog have a better life. The main ingredient that's helping with the dental is we use kelp from the sea, which reacts with the dog and it creates saliva or whatnot into the dog's mouth that reduces tartar, plaque, and gives them a fresher breath. And then we put a bunch of other good stuff, inulin, which is a prebiotic. We do salmon oil for the skin. We do sunflower lecithin, which is also a digestive aid, and just try to make it healthier product for your pets. And doing it in the United States and America, our people that buy this product have a higher sense of quality as opposed to something else that might be coming in from other countries that you really can't track or be sure of what your ingredients are. I mean, we have testing, we have outside companies always coming in, looking at our ingredients, looking at our products, and making sure we're doing the right thing for your pets. So, and with every 50 states having their own regulatory body that we have to register with, I mean, it's worse than the food products I have. It really is. So we have 50 people in one in every state that we have to go through to get registered and go through our ingredient statements and what we put in. And it's an ordeal sometimes to do all this stuff in America and get everything together.
That is funny that you say that, Mike, because my brother talked about that many, many years ago when he was doing work inside the automation work inside the pet food plants. He said they have stricter regulations than people food. And I thought, ooh, that's kind of backwards, but it is. He said, no, I'm not kidding.
They're starting to make a few changes. The FDA is starting to get involved, so it's more of a one body you go to get all the registrations. Yeah. But for right now, every state is different. Every state charges different. And it's a hodgepodge. So hopefully I hate to say this, the federal government can come in and straighten it out, but we'll see if that happens or not.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic, Mike. So again, for guys, if you're just joining us, drop us a note. Let us know that you're out there. Happy Friday to you. We've got a great panel here. We're talking Made in USA manufacturing. So happy Friday, Debbie. We've got Benjamin. So I want to slide over. Well, first off, Damon, we got to, for all of us with furry friends out there. So now for my Rottweiler, not a little guy, but for my Rottweiler, he loves Indigenous Pet Treats.
Oh, there you go.
Right there you go.
Hey, and what's funny, my dog, I'm definitely a second-class citizen in my house, compared to my dog, right?
Of course.
And when we started using Indigenous Pet Treats, my wife is like literally like, the dog is healthier. The coat is shinier. So this is not a shameless plug. Like, she loves these treats for our Roddy. So Mike, thank you for that. Cause nice. Happy wife is happy life. So the more that my dog is doing, you're keeping my marriage together, right? I'm just teasing. So just kidding, Melinda.
Everything helps.
Every little bit helps, man. If my dog is doing great, man, and we've got, I'm just kidding. So, all right.
No,
Melinda,
I can relate.
Yeah. You have a pet, right?
I have two, a 30-pound doodle and a 70-pound doodle. And Mike, nice. I am going to, right after the session, going to be ordering because their breath, out of this world. I don't know what they're doing or what we're not doing, but.
Yeah. So Mike has the cure. So, but guys, if your dog is just a little shaky on the breath order there, connect with Mike, and that's for certain. So Melinda, let's come to you. Pedoc Power Solutions. Boy, you guys have just a dynamo company. I've had the honor and privilege of taking a tour of your facility. Can you just share a little bit? How do you guys at Pedoc make the world a better place? What's going on there?
Sure. So Pedoc Power Solutions is a manufacturer of outdoor power pedestals. If you're out there and you don't know what a power pedestal is, it's all right. Most people don't. But Kurt, in our last session, you had mentioned, boy, now that you know what our product is and you walk around anywhere out, outside, you're at a park, you're sitting on a bench, you're looking at, some outdoor maintenance equipment being plugged in. Essentially, it's a charging station for anything that requires power outdoors. So here is my marching orders. I don't know if that's the right terminology for everyone out there. Is as you're walking around, just keep your eyes open for how those Christmas tree lights, those holiday lights are being powered. And I guarantee you are going to see outlets that are knocked over. The covers on them are gone, and maybe they're not even being used, or they just look ugly and are unsafe. So Pedoc brings to the table a pedestal solution where it's there forever. It's stainless steel. It's going to last. And one of the reasons why you can count on Pedoc is because we are 100% USA manufacturer. And just like Mike talked about, you can feel confident. Our customers are confident in what's going into making a pedestal and how they are safe, which is huge. Giving our customers the peace of mind that our product's not going to fail. It's being made here under, strict quality control measures and supporting our country on a number of different levels. So that's how we're making the world a better place, Kurt.
Well done. And again, so Melinda, we have a couple lives, so go check out our website. You can go back and catch a replay with Melinda and her sister. company founded in the 70s. Dad founded the
Yeah.
company. And so just a wonderful, wonderful history here at Pedoc, and just looking at the legacy of USA manufacturing. Speaking of which, we're going to slide down to our friend Joe. Now, Damon, I want to go here for a second. You ready? Now, when we had Mike on, I love to ask that first question, and I won't ask the question yet, but Mike, do you remember your answer? I believe it was a president of ours that you shared, right?
Right.
It was Ronald Reagan was your answer.
Yeah.
Melinda, I asked a wonderful question to you that Damon and I love to ask week in and week out, and your answer was your father.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joe, what's going on, dude? How are you, man?
Good. How you doing, Kurt? Nice.
Joe, I have a little question that I'd like to ask you, my friend, since you're on a maiden voyage on our little tiny program here. Hey, happy Friday, Gal. Gal's a dear friend of the program. Dave, we need to have Gal back on the show here. It's been too long. Gal, we miss you, love you.
She's been busy.
Yeah, she has been busy. So, Joe, let's go here. Joe is a Buffalo guy. We're talking Buffalo Bills here a little bit. I see Matt Goosey dropped a lead. We got a Packer fan in the house here. So, Matt, happy Friday to you, my friend. Joe, when you were a little guy growing up, who was your hero? Who was your hero when you were a little guy growing up? Who did you look up to?
My dad.
Your dad? Awesome. All right,
For
let's
sure.
hear. What was Dad's name, and why did you look up to your dad?
My dad, Joe Calora, for sure. But yeah, taught me a lot of stuff in my life. My second one was Joe Namath from the New York Jets.
Great answer, man.
Superhero.
That's a superhero right there, man. So anybody that can predict a win at a Super Bowl. So, hey, Damon, we haven't had Joe Namath yet. That's a great
No, we have not.
How about that, right? Yeah,
that was fantastic. So now, Joe, I want to just slide into. So, Joe, I've had the honor, privilege taking a tour of Styco. So we've got Styco in Orchard Park, New York, which is Buffalo. Now, Joe, you've been working at Styco for what, 1 or 2 years? It looks like maybe 3.
You can put a 4 in front of it. 42 years.
Wow.
42 years, Damon. So 42 years you've been working at Styco. Is that crazy? And the thing is, when you meet Joe in person, like Joe, I'm not, if you remember, I think I asked him to see his ID because I'm like, Joe, I go, what'd you start here when you were like, 5 years old?
6.
So guy looked super. Hey, well, you got good gene. Not only was your dad a hero, he gave you good genes. So, my friend, you look super young. But let's just hear a little bit about how does Styco make the world a better place? What's going on at Styco?
Well, first of all, we've been around since 1967, and we've been serving the public safety industry and the federal government with antennas for many, many years. And our purpose is to serve mission critical components for communication systems for the safety of us Americans and anywhere else antennas could be used. So we pride ourselves on that stuff. And when we look at an American made, we do just about everything we can in-house right here. Over the years, we've made a lot of investments in our machine shop and manufacturing operations to go more vertical, control our own inventory, and promote a lot of jobs for the industry. We have open positions now for our machine shop, matter of fact. So we're trying to keep everything in these walls here. And as everybody on the show has been talking about this Buy America thing, I mean, what a great concept, right? It should be like that and always, and it has been forever, that we do as much in this country as we can. And I know when we're doing that at Styco, we're making the country a better place for not only us, our customers, and everybody else. So that's something we pride ourselves on, for sure.
Awesome.
Well, that is awesome, Joe. And again, Damon, when you walk around the floor, I've actually posted pictures of Styco on LinkedIn, and Nicole and I have been there and taken a tour, and it's just wonderful. They've got the American flag. Like, you could eat off the floor at this place. It is immaculate. It is spotless. It is extremely inspiring, Joe. And again, like for all 3 folks on the stage here today, or all of our manufacturing friends, it's not just like these employees. It's like families that they're providing for. These are people that are, you guys are providing dance lessons, graduations, ball games. Like, you're allowing families to grow up and go off to college. And so it's just so heartwarming what they're doing. Hey, one question I wanted to grab here, Damon. So we've got Ritu here today, if I'm saying that correctly. I don't know if anybody wants to grab that one or if this is relevant for you guys, but she asks, how has technology and automation influenced the manufacturing processes at your company? Does anybody want to grab that one? Does that hit home with any of you guys?
I mean, if you're not using technology and automation, you're falling behind. I mean, it's not you've got to do something to keep up and keep the costs down. And the only way you're going to get that is through technology and automation. It's a whole lot easier when you can just push a few buttons on the line and everything runs through. And we're putting in a new line right now in one of my other product lines. I mean, they're putting in another line that'll increase production by about 25%. And I've got the business to fill that line. So it's all, you got to keep updating and the technology and the automation just to stay even with everybody, because everybody else is doing the same thing. And if you're not, you're falling behind.
Yeah.
Man. Great to hear, Mike.
That's so cool.
That's our first drop.
Cool.
That was probably we probably had multiple drop the mics already, but I'm going to say Mike just dropped the mic right there on that one. So, man, if you're not staying ahead of the game, you're just falling behind. Awesome. Miles, happy Friday. We've got Chris here today. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Melinda, at your facility, I know I saw firsthand you guys have state-of-the-art machinery. You're adding new machinery. You want to chime in anything from your perspective on that question?
Absolutely. And I wholeheartedly agree with you, Mike, staying ahead of the technology. Kurt, you mentioned before that our business was founded by our father, who had that mindset coming right into the business in 1976 already. So back in that time, equipment was limited. I mean, if you needed to form a piece of metal, you either, tried to use some hand equipment, or maybe you were lucky to have a press brake, that you operated with your foot. And that's, you had to make sure your measurements, your tooling, everything was there. And even just setting up for that process was time consuming. So to think back from 1976 to where we are now, just the software developments, from taking orders to the engineering to communicating with technology from the engineering team to the floor. I mean, it's huge, just on top of the equipment. Like you mentioned, Kurt, we do already have some state-of-the-art equipment, laser, CSC, punch press. We are now proud to be adding a robotic welder. So it's actually being installed. We've been prepping for it for the last several months and working on the installation right now. So absolutely agree, Mike, the technology, stay ahead of it. Stay ahead of it.
Stay ahead of, man. All right, another drop the mic right there. And again, Melinda, we've talked about it. Just we have videos of your machinery running, and just state of the art. And this, and these are small family businesses. These are not 500, 1,000-person companies, publicly traded companies. And how do you stay ahead of the game? Is exactly as Mike and Melinda are describing. Joe, you want to chime in? I know you guys are doing some really cool cutting edge things at Styco. Anything from your perspective as far as technology on that side?
Well, for sure. Our philosophy again is to reinvest in the company, and that's something that we've always had a keen vision on. And again, we've been pursuing machine shop equipment. We're kind of an old school machine shop to support our engineering and manufacturing processes, but we've been investing in a lot of the CNC stuff, and we will continue to invest. Again, Kyle is not on the call here, but we are a woman-owned company. And, that's just, we love pouring back into the employees for the technology. And we are pursuing some cobot type equipment possibly down the road. Melinda, I'd love to hear that you're buying a robotic welder. Those things are fantastic. And if you can push that technology to the limit, go for it. Because just keep on it, right? Because you're going to fall behind if you don't. So, yeah, it's always in our vision, always in our strategic plan to put back into the company and grow the technology. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind. And that's what we've been doing. So,
yeah. And I think when I see these applications, I'm lucky enough to get to tour some facilities once in a while. And when I see the things like the robotic welders and the automation, what I really see happening is we're automating a lot of the tough positions in the factories where people can get hurt, people can get repetitive motion injuries that really make it better for the people working there. And also, when you talk about something like you're making, Mike, we as humans can't make it as consistently as the automation equipment can. In which your kind of product, your first treat or your 10 billionth treat has to be the same.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to do. So it's cool because it's timing I think this is all awesome because it's timing the right thing. Because in manufacturing, we have such an employee shortage that we have to automate because there's just physically not enough people.
Right. Exactly. Great point here, Damon. And so, you know what? So let's slide in here. So we're talking consistency. We're talking about that quality. Let's go in this conversation. So since COVID, I think, there's been an exciting, at least in our world, an exciting renaissance with Made in USA. You're hearing a lot about like reshoring, onshoring, this whole rejuvenation with Made in USA, back in the 80s, Mike, we're talking about like, the Reagan years, if you will. It was actually frowned on and looked down on to get a career in the manufacturing. Hopefully, like we're putting those days behind us and there's like a whole new forefront of manufacturing. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits. You guys have kind of scratched on it a little bit, but I want to take it one step further. Some of the benefits for a manufacturer out there that's thinking about that reshoring, onshoring, maybe some of the major retailers out there, they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should start looking domestically. Let's talk about like, IP, loss in translation. What are some of the benefits of doing business here domestically versus scrambling, trying to find, manufacturers overseas? Mike, I want to start with you. In the pet, you touched a little bit about it. You're not sure what's in those dog treats when you buy from foreign places. What are some of the benefits that you want to share as far as like buying domestically for manufacturing?
Well, first it'll be lead times.
Lead time.
Most lead times in the United States are within 4 weeks. It takes, I do salt and pepper shakers too. So it takes me a month to get a container from Vietnam. So I'm already there 4 months or a month on lead time there, plus for them to grind it, plus for them to bring it here. And so you're like at 3 months out. Right. So it's easier to bring in product when it's physically closer. I mean, that's just basic. And then it just seems that most people in the US realize that just in time doesn't always work anymore. And you've got to have some type of inventory. And with me working in the food industry and the retail pet industry, if I don't have shipments on time, I get fined $500,000, 3% of shipment, 5% of shipment. And you can't make a company run profitably if you're getting all these fines consistently from everybody else. So you've got to raise your inventory levels, and you've got to make sure your companies you're dealing with in the U.S. also have a higher level of inventory that you can bring in later.
Yeah, that's a big thing when you're going to import product is the cost of product. That's that you're paying for the orders to get them produced, and then you've got all the product that's in process. That investment, because if you're selling $1 million of product a month, and it takes you 3 months to get it, that means I have to invest $3 million more or whatever the cost of that $1 million is. So say it's $600,000-$700,000. I have to do that times 3 months in transit, and that's a sizable cash. And then what happens, and this happened in a lot of e-commerce companies this year when in 2022 and 2023 is that the demand fluctuates a lot. If I have that on the water and in production, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
And if I don't need it and my warehouse is full already, you're still getting it.
Yeah. I mean, and I try to buy in America when I can, but I mean, pepper, they just don't grow pepper. And
yeah.
You gotta bring it in from somewhere. And just those lead times and all that storage costs, and it adds up. And so if you can do something more local, it's a whole lot easier, simpler, and cost effective.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely love it. So Melina, let's come at you. We've talked about flexibility. Mike's hitting on lead times. You're talking about the technology advancements that you guys are doing, as a small manufacturer. What are some other benefits that you share with your clients when they want to do business with Pedoc Power Solutions domestically?
Well, when you think about lead time, that's definitely a challenge or benefit to U.S. manufacturing. thinking of vendors and vetting our vendors. It's very difficult to vet a vendor who's overseas, different time zone, you know, a 10-hour flight to get there just to check out their facility. You know, the face-to-face is limited. So local sourcing for us has been instrumental in, you know, starting the company and growing it. It's huge. I mean, we have relationships with our local suppliers, and even if they're not across the street, some of them are. Even you know, they're a couple states away. It's possible, and it's possible to do so quickly. It gives us that flexibility that we need if there's a change that needs to happen. I mean, and I love the convenience of these live, you know, webinars and things like that, Zoom meetings, but the value of just that face-to-face connection and building those relationships, you can't compare, you can't beat it. So vetting, you know, getting on the floor, seeing what this manufacturer company is all about, seeing, you know, you walk in and is it clean? You know, the employees, do they look happy? Does it feel like a safe environment? What's their quality look like? So, I mean, just even all the nonverbal cues that you pick up just from looking around is huge, and gives us peace of mind that we can continue with the quality we pride ourselves with. We rely on our vendors to provide that same level of quality so we can pass it on. So
yeah, that is awesome. And again, you've shared, like, you know, you have vendors literally down the street, like, you know, we've talked about like your powder coat painting, you know, company, you know, that's a relationship goes back to your dad from 30 years ago. And, you know, so those relationships, you talk about the culture, you know, like being the ability to visit, just, you know, hey, there's a loss in translation here. Can we just get on the phone and just kind of hammer this thing through? So there's just so many benefits to working domestically. Joe at Styco, we're again, guys, if you're just joining us, drop us a note. Happy Friday to you. I think we're at top of the hour, so sometimes we get a little shift. We get new folks in. So we've got Mike from Indigenous Pets. We strongly encourage you. We welcome you to check out Mike at Indigenous. We've got Melinda from Pedoc Power Solutions doing amazing work in Chicago. Joe at Styco. Joe, you guys are doing just fantastic work. You are helping keeping our first responders, our military folks safe. I wanted to get into a little bit of some of the solutions you've come up with at post 9/11. Kyle has shared that with us before. What are some of the things that you want to share from an onshoring, reshoring, made in USA? Anything new that we haven't already covered from your perspective for Styco? What are the benefits there from your perspective?
Well, again, thanks, Kurt, for all your kind words there. But yeah, we've talked a lot about, you know, lead time and things like that, and you know, I will bounce back a little bit off of what Melinda said. We're huge on keeping business in the community and working with our vendors. Nothing better than going in and shaking a hand and seeing your facility and working things out. Very difficult when you're offshoring things, but the quality of the product too, right? I mean, I just think the American made, I know for a fact, American made products, the quality is much better. I see it on our own facility. We make a lot of our own components to go into our custom products. So that I'm big on quality and the creation of jobs too. That's another one. You know, you could see, you know, I'm not an economist and everything, but you know, there's a glut of people that have left the industry, and yet there's a creation of a lot of jobs with this Buy America. Maybe we created our own bottleneck. I'm not sure, but I know there's people out there willing to work, and we're here to provide some really good jobs and opportunity through training. And, you know, that's something we're always focused on. And then the investment in America, right? This is our country. We should be investing in America, right? These products. What better way to put it? And, you know, again, I'm also on a green team, right? There's a lot of regulatory things that aren't so nifty overseas. And, I know over here when things are made in the state, things are under regulations, the pollution, you know, we're in the world of, right, the green and all that stuff. And you hear about how our atmosphere is changing, everything about our weather is changing, right? I think if we can control more of that and bring more stuff over here, we might do a better job for the people for tomorrow and the kids and that. So, you know, that's my vision on it. And Yeah, a lot to be said there. So.
A lot to be said there. And Joe, one thing I want to, and so first off, man, Damon, do you feel like running through a wall after that little speech, or what, man? Like that was like, man, that was like a Vince Lombardi. That for me, it was like a Vince Lombardi speech right there. So, Joe, let's go here for a second. When Kyle came on the show last time, she shared. So we had some of the products on that we were actually showing on the live show, and she had one product in particular. She was saying how it came, from, the one of the greatest tragedies in our country's existence, 9/11. There were a lot of communication challenges and things that didn't go as smoothly as possible. You guys created some solutions post 9/11. Do you want to share a little bit, like, like how you guys work with your customers, work with your clients, those first responders post 9/11? Talk a little bit about some of the communication solutions that you guys offer to your customers.
Well, great point, Kurt, and thanks for bringing that up. Again, we're here to solve your issues. What can Steico do for your needs and customize antenna products and all that? And going back to the days, 9/11, even things, since then. One thing from 9/11, we all realized that the communication between all the departments wasn't the best. It's just the way our operating system was at the time. So we developed a couple different antennas, but one of them primarily is our quick deploy IOAK system dipole antenna. We're able to put a base station up with a command center vehicle, so multiple agencies could all work together in certain tragedies and power outages and things of those nature, like the 9/11 occurrence. So hopefully we never see that again. But again, our solutions are to help our customers and the government and whoever they may be work through these nuances and everyday occurrences that we're going through right now. So, that's, again, what Steico's about. We're always here to develop these custom products. And, it's a great philosophy that we have. And the 9/11 one, as horrible as that was, the outcome is on our side and all our government agencies is we're here to help develop some of these systems to help the communication and first responders do a better job today than they were doing yesterday with the communication side of the issue. So.
And that's something I had to say when you think of everything about 9/11, what happened, and some other big events. That wasn't anything I had considered until just now, Joe, is the communication and how key it is. So thank you.
You're welcome. I know I'm getting a little, get the goosebumps going here, but we live in this world today, and aside from some unusual activity we don't like to see out in the public, there is power outages and failures and natural disasters and things like that where you need communication. So these base stations, these booms that we could put up with our antennas on it to provide communication for severe damages and things like that. It's great to know that we're here to help the people and serve the public. So
yeah. You just think about what it's like when a tornado goes through an area or a hurricane comes into the coast someplace and just rips out everything. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that really saves lives, because now they can, first responders put it up. We've got our backup systems going. Where before that, it wasn't as good. And there are good things that come out of bad situations.
There are.
Unfortunately, with every tragedy, there's an opportunity or a solution to, fall back on that. You think of like baby car seats, like, how long it took us to get there, that type of thing. I'm old enough, Damon, to remember, but, I remember flying as a kid on an airplane, and they would have smoking on the airplane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, hey, do you want to sit in the smoking section or the not smoking section on the airplane? I mean, now it's a federal, it's a federal crime. But first off, I want to just thank each and every one of you, for all three of you, what you guys are doing for our economy, for our communities, for our country. Joe, man, you're totally giving me goosebumps, talking about some of these solutions. When Kyle was on last time and we were talking about that 9/11, I remember everybody on stage was kind of getting choked up. I mean, it's challenging to talk about that day in our history without having some type of impact. But even on a daily basis, you're helping the police, the first responders, state troopers, FBI, CIA. I mean, you're helping all sorts of folks. Melina, you're providing, great power solutions. And Mike, you're helping our furry loved ones. Unfortunately, sometimes we treat our dogs better than we do our, other folks, right, Damon? So,
Yeah.
it's just so admirable. And just these are just 3 examples of just the awesomeness of what's going on in USA manufacturing. So, like, guys, it's manufacturing month. Please go out, high five, give a hug, a handshake, or whatever to your local manufacturer, because they are truly the heroes of our economy. Mike, let's keep it rolling. Let's come to you, my friend. What advice would you share for any of our manufacturers, retailers, consumers, like to anybody out there that's like, hey, man, you're kind of getting me fired up. Do you have any advice for manufacturers that want to start reshoring themselves? Any thoughts there?
I mean, you can't keep doing what you've been doing. It just doesn't, over time, people are going to catch up. So you've got to keep innovating and coming out with something new, and otherwise you're just going to fall behind.
Awesome. Okay. Excellent advice. Words of wisdom, brilliance there from our dear friend, Mike. Melina, for any folks out there that are considering, maybe if there's a distributor out there that's been importing, or maybe like they're some of the big companies that have been manufacturing has been overseas. We're starting to hear some trends where some of the bigger companies are starting to bring some manufacturing back. Any advice, any steps that they could take to really start crushing it the way that Pedoc is as far as like onshoring?
Sure. Just like in any change, there's really got to do your research, your research on what kind of equipment you might need, how you are going to attract and retain talent, your price point, price point's going to be different. You get what you pay, you get what you pay for. So when you're thinking about your pricing strategy, there's, like Mike said, it's a huge just mind shift to prepare just yourself for, but the entire team for. On top of course, all the physical planning that goes involved. If we're getting something from overseas that is manufactured with a huge piece of equipment, just the sheer fact of having that space in your building and getting it hooked up and running properly. It's things that there's just an awful lot of planning involved, but it can be done, and once you're there, I think just be proud, and see, and there's ways to always improve it, but the biggest takeaway and advice I would have would be proud of that you are even considering supporting our country even more by bringing things back to the States. And when you get there, be proud and get it out there. Let people know, hey, this is what we're doing, and market it. Kurt, you're dynamo with that marketing, and you taught us that, hey, make that front and center on your website. Let people know. You fully support our country. You support our workers, our economy. You're proud of our country. And so I would say take a lot of pride in it. Don't be shy.
Oh, well put.
All right. Man, we're just going to take a moment and just savor that one right there. So that was just all right.
Great.
So Joe, you're newer to the program. We have Mike drop the mic moments, but then sometimes when it gets really juicy, then we just need to take a moment just to kind of savor what was just said there. So Melina, that was spot on. Thank you. And what's cool, guys, like Melinda's providing solutions to companies like the Ritz, major golf courses, hotels. So it's just wonderful what you guys have going on. Joe, let's come to you, my friend. Any tips, any advice that you would share with folks that are considering reshoring? Any thoughts that you have there?
Absolutely. Again, hard to follow on what Melinda said and Mike, but I think we're all on the path to the same goal, right? What do we do to keep America the way it is today and grow it, right? Invest in your company, invest in your people, train your people, keep this stuff going, keep it here, right? And be proud. I love that. Be proud of what you do, right? We all have great companies, make great products. We serve our community. We throw business around the community, around the country, and that's what it's all about. Again, invest in the people too. I think the training, we've done a lot of investment in training. With the I'll say younger kids. Yes, I'm an old guy now, I guess, right? Young at heart, but we've taken some young kids and created careers for them that they didn't even know that they would have by sending them to school and creating a vision for them, right? And that's what it's all about. And you feel good about it, right? Right here. You feel good about it and you're proud of it, right? And so, that's my advice to anybody out there listening, and they own a company, work in a company, running a company, overseeing, or even the floor sweeper. It's important to everybody to try to grow a career path and invest, right? And there's my spiel. Hope it sits well.
Awesome.
Man,
Awesome.
oh my goodness gracious. Are you guys fired up or what, man? This is just so. And Joe, the cool thing is at Styco, if I'm not mistaken, you have multiple second generation of folks. Kyle's the president of the company. Her kids are in the company. I think Chris Getz, I think he has a child in the company. So it's great seeing that next generation coming in,
including my son. My son's working here now.
Awesome.
Awesome. I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's a family owned feeling. That's great.
Yeah, I know. Andy, their sales rep, his daughter was in customer service for a while. So it was great. Like you go in the company and it's all the second generation. And Melinda, I get a kick out of saying this one, Damon. I walk into Pedoc, and apparently, like you need to look like you're on the cover of GQ to work at Pedoc, because I walk in, it's like all these young college kids that are like just strikingly handsome. I'm like, who are all these guys? And it was her nephew and like all these young college kids, and so Melinda, same thing. Like you're bringing in young folks to the company as well, right?
Damon like that.
Well, I was sick of Kurt. Did you iron your shirt before you went in?
I did.
Right.
Damon, so we have a running joke when Damon and I travel together. He has to do my ironing because like I'm a disaster. I'm like a fashion disaster. I'm like whenever I travel without Damon, like I text him a picture of me trying to iron. I'm like, dude, this is not going well. So yeah, so I walk into Pedoc and it's like all these kids. They go to Iowa and just But Melinda, you're bringing in young folks into the company. You're doing a great job and just wonderful people on the floor. You want to scratch on that a little bit of just like the young folks that you're bringing into the company?
Sure, but I'm going to start with the older first, if you don't mind, because we have a couple of folks that have been there since 1976. And it was actually my dad investing in their development. And to this day, I mean, he talks so highly of my dad and what he's done for him and his family. And so that's touching. So.
And I met that gentleman that you're talking about, right?
Was it Hector? Yes, it was Hector.
I met Hector, and so Joe, we've got somebody that has you beat. But you know what? Thank you for bringing that up, Melinda, because Damon, we do that a lot. We talk about like young folks, but you know what? Somebody came on the program when we were talking about young people. I think it might have been Nancy O'Leary. She's going to be our guest in a week from Friday, and she said, you know what? Manufacturing is not just for young folks. And we had another. I said like. Women in manufacturing, and they're like, it's not just for young folks, it's not just for women. Manufacturing for everybody.
Everyone.
And Melinda, thank you for bringing that up, because like, hey, let's celebrate Joe. 42 years at one company, Joe. What, like, how that is such a, you just don't hear that anymore. Joe, what's been going on for 40 years that's just kept you on the hook at Styco for 40 years?
I know, I'm shocked myself, but I can tell you, the company believed in me. I worked hard. They invested in me. I did a lot of training, been to school. I've ran different programs. I was given an opportunity, right? And I feel the same. I put any employee under my wing, and if I see the same in them, no matter what, we're going to invest in them, right? But for me, I've always said this. I've worked for the same company for 42 years. But yet, I feel like I've worked for several companies over the years because we've changed so much. And we're not, like Mike said, we're not sitting back. We've changed direction. And we went through some people and consultants and, other management, but we've stuck with it. We've changed. We've grown. And we believe in each other. And again, man, I'm blessed. It's companies believed in me. And just like Melinda said with the, gentleman from 76 and your father believing in people, Kyle's mom, she believed in me too. So I'm a believer. I love carrying people along and showing them a path, and it feels good. So, yeah, and it's keeping me young at heart, I hope.
Well, God bless you, dude. How about this comment here, Damon? So, hey, we celebrate not manufacturing not just for what it is, but for what it represents: progress, adaptability, and the ability to transform ideas into reality. How about this? So let's raise a toast to the manufacturing sector and all the people who keep the wheels of innovation turning. So, man, talk about a drop the mic moment right there, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just that the chat's going crazy now after this, and it really is. It's a special thing, and the people in it know it. And I feel sorry for people that haven't experienced it. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I just do.
It's a great thing. So, Michael, I know we could keep you guys here all day, and I know you guys are super busy running manufacturing facilities and operations.
Yeah.
So, Michael, let's start winding down. Let's start taking it home, my friend. Any words of wisdom, parting thoughts that you would like to share, other than we want people to go to Amazon or any of your favorite retail places to buy Indigenous Pet Treats. Any thoughts that you want to share with anybody as we close out today?
Well, I mean, the indigenous dental bones do help your dog. I mean, it's a good product, and I'm glad to be making it because I've seen the effects it has had with other pets, and it's just a positive thing to do when you're actually making something where you can see the effects of it on other people or pets, and it's a good thing when you can do that and have such confidence of the quality of your product that you're actually making.
And it's just how warming is it when you just, like, Joe, to use your word, when you believe in your product and you just feel just such a firm faith in it, and I'm telling you guys firsthand, it is an amazing product. My dog loves it. So, Melinda, my friend, any parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you want to share with folks, kind of capping off our little conversation today?
Sure. So, yes. And I have a quote, and this is so terrible because I can't tell you who said it. But I'm sure you've heard it. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And to me, that just resonates so well. And so, this is a big decision. If there are people out there that are considering moving things back to the States, it's a big leap. It really is, and requires, a lot of planning and thought. But I think, at least for me, sometimes I can get hung up on should I, shouldn't I, but it's just taking that leap. And so I'm embarrassed that I can't think of who it was that said it. If that's a trivia question for you, Kurt, come on.
I think it was Damon. I think Damon quoted that one. That was
no.
I'm going to give that one to Dave. But that, you know what? Dropped the mic right there. That was just another profound, man. Oh my gosh, this thing was like 10 times. Like, Joe, my friend, like, you've just been everybody's running through walls right now, thanks to you. Any parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you want to share with folks today to kind of cap off the conversation?
Again, man, just stay the course, believe in people, listen to the people. And, I do think you need to take some risk in manufacturing. Linda kind of hit it on the mark, but the glass half full or empty, have at it, take some risk and, bring some jobs back here. Let's keep the work going in here and grow this economy and stay strong, and you'll get there, right? Believe in your company and your people, and all things will come out. It will. Give it a chance, right?
Give it a chance, man. All right. Man, this was so good. All right. So we've got Cindy dropped a comment here.
Yeah,
we love manufacturing. Hey, Cindy, thank you guys. So Damon, hey, did you have a little question here for our friends, or what, did you?
No, I'm good. Kurt.
You're good. Okay. So, all right, and Damon, takeaways, thoughts. You want to read anything that you want to?
I just I think it's a whole new playing field, right? You go 15 years ago, offshoring was that. You back 20 years ago, offshoring was really, really popular, and now you look, and we've learned that there's some risks in it. There's some other costs that we really need to consider. And I wrote down someone that we know, Harry Mosier, who's been part of the reshoring initiative for many years, speaking about this. And he's even got his reshoring calculator that you can get. This is just really an exciting time to be in manufacturing.
It is an exciting time. So we'll wind down on this. So our last time we said, hey, what's everybody's walk-up song? And so Melina, you had TNT from AC/DC. Joe, do you have a walk-up song? Like if you're walking up to the plate to hit in the winning run, would you have a walk-up song that you want blaring on the loudspeakers, or something at the Bills game that really juices you up?
Bills make me want to shout.
The Bills make me want to shout. So hey, we'll go for any non-Bills fan. It's hard to imagine anybody's not a Bills fan, but if you're in Chicago and Indianapolis, maybe you're not a Bills fan, but we'll just go with that song "Shout" for everybody out there. So guys, if you've been sitting around for the past, we've been going live for 50 minutes. I invite you, if you want to give a stand up, it's a great time to stand and stretch. And hey, let's give a big standing ovation for our esteemed panelists here today. So big shout out to Mike. Big shout out to Melinda. Big shout out to Joe. And guys, thank you to all three of you. Thank you for what you guys do for our communities, our country, our economy. This was just absolutely awesome. And man, let's close out on this. First off, I wish everybody an amazing, wonderful, safe weekend as we're starting to wind down the month of October. But I also encourage you, man, just be someone's inspiration. Gosh, if you need inspiration, just hit the little, come back and catch a replay. Rewind. Hit the little rewind button and listen to these three. And man, you are just going to be so fired up. Spread the word with friends, family, your dog, people you went to high school with. Let them know let them know that manufacturing is alive and well. Damon, dude, take it away, man. I got to go run through a wall somewhere. So take it away.
All right, Kurt. Thanks again, everyone, all of our guests today. Thanks for everyone that was commenting. And those of you that you need to adjust your settings a little bit in your profile so we can see your face on here. But thanks for the comments anyway. But we just see LinkedIn user in here. But thanks to everyone for stopping by. And Matt, I'm sorry, but I know you're a Packers fan. But anyway, sorry, I just had to go there. Melinda's with me on that.
I'm with you 100%. 100%.
But we gotta love him. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks to our guests. Hey, let's just go out and make October the best manufacturing month ever.
Love it. Thank you.
We'll be back next week. Thanks.